Hello everybody, my name is Drew Dodson and today I will be analyzing the piece On Grand Sommeil Noir and how it conveys emotion through modal fluidity. Un Grand Sommeil Noir, which means a great black slumber, is a French poem written by Paul Verlaine in 1873. It tackles the idea of death and what somebody's final thoughts during death may be. The poem reads, "A great black slumber buries my life. Sleep, all hopes, sleep, all desires. I see nothing more. I've lost the memory of good and of evil. Oh, the sad story. I am a cradle that a hand rocks in the hollow of a vault. Silence, silence." Verez adopted the poem into an art song in 1906 and is one of his first works. Later, the piece would be arranged for orchestra by Anthony Beaumont. So what is modal fluidity? To me, it is the idea of moving through different key centers or modes very easily using similar pitch collections. It uses the similarity between Aeolian and Dorian, for example, to keep the listener on their toes and blur the lines in a piece of music's trajectory. This is used by Verez to blur the lines in the emotional trajectory of the piece and convey deep and profoundly personal emotions. And what more profound emotion than someone's own death? I believe the emotion in the beginning of the piece is the realization of one's impending demise. The slow march of parallel fifths and low octaves in the left hand of the piano set the scene in E-flat minor. The first two words even further push that idea with a powerful leap from the fifth to first scale degree. However, when a C natural and an A natural appear, we can feel that something has changed pitch center-wise. This all happens on the phrase, "A great black slumber buries my life." I feel as if this character was not expecting their death, but is in no denial that it's happening now. Their brain is tripping over itself, thoughts are racing, and it can't seem to grasp the concept. The music perfectly articulates that thought by changing its pitch center to B-flat minor very shortly after the singer begins. Then, as we see in the green box, another big change occurs. On the phrase "sleep all hopes," we see a G natural, which is indicative of B-flat Dorian. But then the singer leaps up to an E-flat. Motion and the bass line imply that we are back in E-flat, not in E-flat minor, but E-flat major. Here the character is thinking back to all of their hopes and desires, and they are happy for a moment. That is until we see the return of G-flat in the piano part, which tells the audience that we are back in E-flat minor. That part is hammered in hard by the piano giving us a flat 6, flat 7, 1, consistently returning us to E-flat. Here the character is frantically alerting the audience, or themselves, the loss of themselves. They say, "I see nothing more. I've lost the memory." Looking death in the eyes is no small task, and the character is scared by it. They aren't prepared for their departure, and their fighting is articulated through the shift back to the original key. But then suddenly we are thrown into the relative major key of G-flat. Here the character says, "I am a cradle that a hand rocks." Here I believe the character is finally starting to slip away and they step into a dreamlike delusion. The phrase in G-flat is then shifted up an entire step into the key of A-flat, showing the character is thrilled by their thoughts and they're clearly losing grasp. But this exuberance is dreadfully cut short when the 5 of A-flat turns into the 1 of E-flat due to the return of the dreadful G-flat. And with very little help from the piano, the character says, "In the hollow of a vault." Here we return to the original theme in the beginning of the piece, with the character saying, "Silence, silence." We have the final thoughts of the character, and they are sung so tragically low, which is a drastic juxtaposition from what we've been hearing. Here we see no more modulation and no more modal interchange. That is paralleled by the tragic end of the character. There are no more thoughts, no more places to run. Death has finally arrived. The last part of the song is 2 staccato stacked octaves of only E flat, the final end of our character. Here we see the masterful storytelling of Varese at work. These emotions are not easy to comprehend, and he has adapted those emotions into a beautiful and powerful piece of music. Shifting between these tonal centers adds to the effect of Verlaine's original poem and creates a haunting scene that won't be so easily forgotten. Hopefully, this inspires you to use some modal interchange in original compositions in the future. Thank you so much for watching.